It's time now for Call of the Wild, the official weekly coaches show of the Wenatchee Wild. Stay up to date with your team all season long with Call of the Wild. With head coach and GM Bliss Littler, here's the voice of your Wenatchee Wild, Arch Ecker.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Call of the Wild, your weekly Wenatchee Wild coaches show. I'm Arch Ecker with Wild head coach and GM Bliss Littler. We just got back from a 3-game set, hanging out in the mainland division. It kind of used to be familiar digs. We were there a lot in the last 2 years. Now we've moved over to the interior division. We'll go back and take a quick look at the games we played over the last few days. Starting off Friday night in Coquitlam against the Express, a team that's kind of struggled out of the gate a little bit, but certainly a team that's got some weapons.
Yeah, I think we're overall pleased with how we played on Friday night in Coquitlam. They do a nice job of packing it in, keeping things tight, and making you try to shoot the puck from the outside. But I thought we did a nice job with our forecheck. We created a lot of offense. In-zone offense was good. I was happy with the power play, and we did a nice job on the penalty kill.
Sometimes one of the things that can happen, the unfortunate side effects of playing a team that may be struggling and is at the bottom, toward the bottom end of the standings, is your team can develop bad habits. Not necessarily yours, but usually the better top-end team can fall into some bad habits. How do you feel your team did in that regard?
I think our habits were very good. I think that Coquitlam played hard. And they just played a very defensive brand of hockey, but they played hard. Our guys had to play hard. We were definitely challenged, and it was a good night for us. We got a lot of guys involved, and I thought a lot of guys played well.
The following night, we went into Langley, found ourselves kind of behind the 8 ball early, down a couple of goals right off the bat. But your team, as we've talked about so many times throughout the season, they don't get rattled, they're resilient, and they just plugged away and kept on battling.
You know what? You're exactly right, Arch. That 5 minutes in, I think we're down 2-0. They're fortunate they scored on 2 of their first 3 chances. The puck got the back of the net, but after that, we didn't give up much. It was a very good effort on our part. I thought the second and third period, we played a very dominant style of hockey. That I was happy with the physical play we had. I was happy with our discipline. I thought our in-zone offense was good. I thought our defense got up in the play. We did a great job on the penalty kill. Power play zipped it around pretty well. So again, in a very emotional game for us. Again, that's no doubt Langley's been one of our biggest rivals, and no doubt that the veteran players, they let the younger guys know that this is the team that we really need to get after.
You know, in the past, sometimes you go into those 2 buildings back to back and you can come out of there maybe a little worse for the wear on the physical side, but knock on wood, we got through it looking pretty decent, other than the fact the following afternoon, our 3rd game in a span of 48 hours against Surrey, and another tough opponent on a big sheet of ice.
We just ran out of gas. First period, I thought we played very well, carried the play, most of the players in their zone, and we had a chance to go up 3 goals in the last 2 minutes, and I think we backed off a little on the power play, and we got to the second period, and you could just tell that the legs were heavy, that Surrey didn't play the night before, and again, it's been a pretty one-sided rivalry there. And again, they have a new coach, completely new attitude. That I think they're a good hockey team. That Coach West has done a remarkable job. I mean, compared to where that team has been at the last 2 years, the leadership has completely changed under Coach West. Attitude of the players, the style of play, that it's black and white. I mean, they've completely turned the corner, and I'm sure there's a decent amount of kids that remember the scores from last year for the most part, and they came out and they played hard in the second and third period, and even though I thought we had the better of the chances, they found a way to get it to overtime, and they made a play in overtime, and that's how it goes. But overall, picking up 5 of the 6 points on the road on the weekend, how we played, we're going to take that and move on, and not getting the dub in in Surrey bother us.
When you have a team that has the level of skill that your players individually have, and plus the fact that you encourage them to make plays and be creative, is there sometimes a tendency for them to try to do too much the more success they have?
Sometimes, but that definitely wasn't the case on Sunday. We ran out of gas, and the other team was sitting waiting for us. They were a little fresher, and they won the battles in the second and third period to lose pucks. And maybe we tried to make a few skill plays instead of getting our nose over the top of the puck. And again, like I said, we got back to the locker room about 12:30 and told the kids to, hey, overall pretty good weekend. Took 5 of the 6 points on the road, and playing 3 games in 48 hours is always tough to do. And we have one more time we do it the rest of the year, a trip to the island. Other than that, again, we don't have to do that very often. So take it. We've done a nice job. We said when we got back that we're 8-2-1 our last 11 games. We have the top power play in the league. We're in the top 3 on the penalty kill, and I think we're second overall in goals, and I think we're third overall in goals against with one of the 2 youngest hockey teams in the league. At this point of the season, I think we're pretty happy with where we're at.
Now we come back home, and if it's Wednesday, it must be Vernon. Seems like we've played Vernon on nothing but Wednesdays thus far for the most part. A couple of times back-to-back. They'll be here on Wednesday, setting up for a good atmosphere as we've got the promotion with the dollar beers and dollar dogs and dollar pops. Should draw some folks in. We know Wednesday nights tend to be the ones right before Thanksgiving, tend to be one of the busier nights of the year, so it should be a great atmosphere down here.
How's that promo go again, Arch?
Those buck of beer and dollar dogs, doodah. And pop.
I love it. I love it. No, you're right. That obviously Vernon is one of the storied franchises in the BCHL, and we've had a pretty good rivalry with them, even though we haven't played them very often the first 2 years. But right now, they're sitting in one of the top 2 spots out in the league, and what are we? We're 1-2 with them right now, so they're winning the series. So it's important for us to jump back in and take care of home ice here and get us back to the win column.
And a quick overview moving further through the weekend: Friday Chilliwack and Saturday Salmon Arm.
You don't have to say anything about Chilliwack. I mean, Chilliwack's still our biggest rival, even though we only play them twice this year. That I know our boys will be ready for Chilliwack, and moving on to Saturday. That it's another home game, and we need to continue to establish this is one of the toughest place, if not the toughest place, to take any points out of this building.
And Saturday night is going to be Cowbell Night, presented by Ag Supply here at Town Toyota Center, so it's going to be on fire in this building. Love to have you come down and be a part of it if you possibly can. Thanks for tuning in this week. It's been your weekly edition of Call of the Wild. He's Bliss Littler. I'm Arch Ecker. We'll see you next time. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
You've been listening to Call of the Wild, the official weekly coaches show of the Wenatchee Wild, a presentation of the Wenatchee Wild Hockey Network.